Adam Copeland injured at AEW Double or Nothing. Plus, a current TNA champion appears on NXT. And WWE signs an ex-AEW star. And they made a SHOCK NXT debut. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. Now, before we get into last night's NXT, there was a whole lot happening on the Tuesday night wrestling scene. We want to send our best to Adam Copeland, who revealed yesterday that he'd suffered an injury at AEW Double or Nothing. I think it's clear, Sam, where the injury stemmed from.
Yeah, it's not surprising. I don't think many people would be able to jump just straight down, 20 odd feet, just woo, right under the ankles, like nah. Just my entire lower body feels just horrible thinking about it.
We watched it live and it just oh my gosh, it was horrible.
Oh my God.
I watched a man get set on fire on that show, and Adam Copeland's bump
fake,
was even worse.
It's all fake, doesn't matter.
No, it's not. It's a real shot. To bring you up to speed, Adam Copeland posted a video on Twitter, and he said, "I've been feeling really good lately, been having so much fun in the ring, and I got cocky. I guess that's what it really comes down to. My brain forgets what my body always seems to remember. I'm 50. I need to make better choices. So my body pulled the emergency brake on me the other night, and I ended up fracturing my tibia, which is going to require surgery, and I don't know the time frame of that yet." He's got his daughter's birthday this weekend. He says, "I want to, enjoy that and not have to worry about surgery, and then we'll look at surgery afterwards." PW Insider gave us some details from behind the scenes at AEW following the injury as well.
They said the initial reaction has been universal sadness and sympathy based on those PW Insider has spoken with. Despite the obvious creative issues related to having to make a decision about the status of the AEW TNT Championship, which Copeland will obviously have to vacate, they were told that behind the scenes, Copeland has risen into being a great mentor and sounding board for talents. Among those they've spoken with, they feel that there would be a great void behind the scenes while he was gone recovering.
It really would. I feel like he stepped into that role as a locker room leader with great ease.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's just, I think he was always gonna, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But it's going to be a sore loss while he's out. Hopefully it's not going to be a major window of recovery. Hopefully it is able to be, I know surgery is serious, but hopefully it's not as long as maybe some of us are thinking.
Well, the vibe is that this is probably going to take Adam Copeland off TV for the rest of the year. So it means missing out on a trip to Wembley, missing out on probably the latter stages of 2024, maybe coming back in time for the start of next year, hopefully, or with a good wind. He's very familiar with having these injury setbacks and rushing to get back and the damage that can do. We've talked about it on the classic SmackDown review, me and Matthew, when he suffered his shoulder injury in 2002. He rushed to get back because he was on a roll. Consequently, he suffered other injuries.
That's over 20 years now. So it's 50 years old. It's your body heals in a completely different way, right?
Very different way. Interestingly, and as we send our best wishes to Adam Copeland, we found out from PW Insider that he owns the copyright and the trademark to The Brood. So, Gangrel rocking up at Double or Nothing. It might not be the last time.
We need to just go and buy up all the old gimmicks that have lapsed. I think that's what we need to do, and then we can sell them back. If we owned The Brood and they needed it, we could have been like, we're going to sue you.
So if you buy Job Squad, I'll buy Truth Commission.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you can be the Truth Commission. It's a pretty awkward one to sell, but...
It's a difficult one, but you know what? I like a challenge in 2024. Best wishes to Adam Copeland on a full recovery there. Last night we had NXT and a busy night of NXT as well, and two very notable shock appearances. The first being Roxanne Perez's opponent for NXT Battleground.
TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace.
I know, right?
Just again. Well, when we saw her at the Rumble, it was a huge moment, and it was kind of like, hey, maybe we're going to see some sort of crossover. Maybe it was just like a nice one-off. And no, she's popped back up, and it looks like this may not be the end.
Not at all. No, this looks like the start of something quite magnificent with Jordynne Grace, WWE, TNA, and NXT. So she appeared as the surprise opponent for Battleground for Roxanne Perez. She came out and said that she's going to become a double champ in Las Vegas in a few weeks' time.
I mean, that's some Cody booking, though, where it's like, oh, I'm coming for your belt.
Yeah.
You don't get mine.
Can't have mine. So a man, thank you, please. So I'm up for this. This is great. I think Jordynne Grace is one of those that will eventually gravitate over to WWE anyway. I can see her fitting in so well as part of that
potentially,
system.
But if that was going to happen, would that not have happened already? We've got something completely different now, in which we've got Jordynne Grace still representing TNA, which is a company she holds very close to her heart, clearly. But in a way where it's I guess going to elevate TNA to the level that WWE programming's at.
Well, I think it kind of sets up maybe for TNA to kind of become a feeder for WWE.
They're not going to be FCW. Shut up.
Of course they're not. They're not based in Florida.
They're going to be Deep South.
I love a Deep South wrestling reference in me news. We'll see Jordynne Grace in a WWE ring next week. She's facing Stevie Turner next week on NXT as a tune-up before Perez at Battleground. Speaking of titles, we got our first look proper at the new NXT Women's North American Championship.
Look at it. Very nice. Very nice. Continuing on, I like the white strap with the red highlights. It's very nice.
Lovely stuff. I like it a lot. It was presented by rapper Sexy Red on last night's NXT. Tatum Paxley tried to steal it, the naughty so-and-so, but Mission managed to shake her off. And then Mission went on to beat Tatum Paxley to qualify for the ladder match to compete for that very belt.
I'm taking it. I don't know if Mission's going to win it.
Do you not think so? Do you think the fact that the rule is if you touch the belt before you've won it, then you're not going to be
the odds, doesn't it?
Yeah. So Tatum Paxley definitely not winning it, even though she's not even qualified for the thing.
Sexy Red's going to take it.
Well, she's touched it. She can't. Sexy Red can't even win it.
She's not a contracted wrestler yet, though. If they get her contracted, then she just doesn't touch it from that point.
To quote Ross Treadle. To quote Ross Tweddle, what Kavorka coming off Sexy Red? A lot of Kavorka.
Made the absolute most of it. I'm not gonna just made the most of an appearance. Absolutely gonna be remembered by the WWE audience.
As the kids say, she ate. And
I don't know what any of that means, so I don't use the words.
And she served completely fantastically as well when she was on telly. I tell you who served as well.
Yeah.
And another shocker on last night's NXT. That would be a former AEW star that rocked up.
Ethan Page.
Yeah,
what was he doing?
What are you doing here? That's mental. So it was last night on NXT that we saw Lash Legend approaching Trick Williams and going, "Hey, why are you beating up all my guys in the metaphor, Trick Willie?" Hey, and that's another thing, Trick Willie. Trick Willie was about to defend himself when the lights went out. Lights came back on. There was Ethan Page. Pushes Trick Williams into Lash Legend. Beats up Trick Williams and says he was the one that took out Metaphor. He even gives us a cracking little line where he says, "Whoop that Trick? Yeah, I'm about to."
Then he held the NXT title up, which means he's not going to win it.
He's not winning it.
Yeah.
The rule is he's not winning it now, which is a shame. But despite the fact he will not be NXT champion
ever in his career,
ever again, what a phenomenal appearance by Ethan Page there. Great to see him. Fightful tell us more about how this all came together.
They said Ethan Page is signed with WWE. He was not seen backstage throughout the day and was not present for the rehearsals. While they're not sure if Page got his release or his AEW contract had just expired, he told some in the industry that he was looking to be a free agent by the late spring. When word of his departure happened, they'd heard that he was hoping that it would go under the radar until he appeared somewhere else, though they weren't sure if that meant NXT specifically. They were told that Page's deal was finalized over the last week, and he even had a secretive WWE Performance Center visit over the past week. Sources they spoke to also were immediately pleased with his debut, and main roster sources apparently reached out to communicate their excitement about him joining. He's certainly a name that's been in and around the WWE conversation for quite some time now.
Yeah, he's someone that looks like he would have a good time in WWE, and we're about to find out. They were both surprised, two surprises on NXT last night with Jordynne Grace and Ethan Page. Where do you hide surprise wrestlers? In Cesar Bononi's garage, because he put up a picture saying that he'd been doing some training with those two particular people mere hours before their debut. So they hid them in Cesar Bononi's garage.
Like Christmas presents. In a big bag. Just hid them behind some boxes.
We picked up the wrong box. Roxanne Perez is being challenged by a bike. That's the wrong Christmas box. Oh no. Someone's got Jordynne Grace for Christmas. Now, Ethan Page is the promoter currently for Alpha One. He's also got a few indie dates on the books, I believe. I don't know what that means for them. The current climate within WWE, I could see him fulfilling them.
Look, WWE tends to allow you to honour certain dates. Like if you go back when people are coming in off the indies, there's a little bit like, oh, well, they were agreed that they were going to work this and they were going to work that. So you might have somebody pop up on TV, then they'll pop up on a couple of indies, and that'll be the last time you get to see them.
It varies, I think, because obviously there's a lot of scuttlebutt about Eric Rowan, and Eric Rowan being pulled from a lot of dates due to new contractual obligations.
Yeah.
But then you've got Julia, who is coming into NXT, and even when she's debuted in NXT, she'll still be cleared to go and do stuff for Marigold alongside. So I guess the rule is varied depending on who it is. So I'd like to think that they'll let Ethan Page honour some of his other commitments and do his own thing whilst plying a trade in NXT.
You gotta hope so.
You would hope so. Busy old night on NXT. I tell you what, these TNA lads get everywhere. Right now on Cultaholic Island, we've been hosting Steve Macklin. He's our guest on Desert Island Graps today. You can hear an exclusive chat with Steve Macklin all about his winning and losing of the TNA World title, his creative freedom within the company, and how Bret Hart nearly made him miss a plane. There you go. That and more on the podcast feed right now. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.